Ladies and gentlemen of Ballet International, I'm so pleased today because we have a very special guest on our interview. Mrs. Excuse me if I pronounce bad your name and surname.
Rejane.
Hijani?
Rejane.
Hijani Garcia?
Yes.
Okay,
Or it would be easier for English speaker, you can say Rejane.
Rejane. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's better Rejane for me. Rejane Garcia. She is in Australia, in Adelaide. She has been studying ballet. She is now ballet teacher, choreographer, and artistic director
Dance Alive.
Dance Alive. And she's doing a wonderful job either for young people and for adults. Hello, Mrs. Rejane Garcia. How are you?
Hello, Jean-Pierre. I'm fine, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
What time is it in Adelaide now?
It's 4:30 in the afternoon.
Here in Rome, it's 7 a.m. Like that people know what time we are fixed for the interview. Don't say anything.
No, I won't.
So, as you have heard, Mrs. Rejane, how did you start ballet and who encouraged you to undertake the study of ballet? What motivated you when you were a child?
Yes. First of all, I want to say again, thank you for the invitation. I'm very pleased to be here. It's a wonderful opportunity to share a little bit of my story to your wonderful community.
Thank you.
So I started ballet when I was 9 years old because I was very active at home. I was going to school, normal school, and then all my friends were doing gymnastics, and I was learning all the tricks by myself. And I used to drive my mom crazy at home. She was worried about I was going to break something in the house or break myself. So she thought, right, I think you need to do some activity, some movement. And she took me to a jazz and ballet class in a very small school close to home. I did for 3 months, and the teacher there told my mom that I was very talented, that I should go to a proper, serious ballet school. And this school is called Maria Oleneva State School in Rio de Janeiro. And so I went there to do the audition. It's about 300 children doing an audition, and they only accept 50. And this course, it's 9 years. We do classes every day, Monday to Friday for 5-6 hours. And it's a state school. So they do an audition. You have to prove yourself. We've got marks throughout the year, exams, and lots of classes, ballet, repertoire, pas de deux, and history of dance, terminology, and so on. Contemporary, modern, flamenco dance, I learned also. It's very strict school. But when I did an audition, I was only 9 years old. I didn't know much of ballet, and that's how they like to see a child with no training at all, which is easier to train without bad habits. And so I was accepted, and immediately I fell in love for ballet, and I took very serious because until then, my mom, she didn't know the words of ballet. So yeah, that's how I start. I fell in love with ballet, and I was doing this course for 9 years, very serious, every day, sometimes 6 days a week. So yes, that's how I found ballet in my life and how I fell in love with ballet.
So was that in Brazil?
Yes, in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro. It's the men's school for the men company, which is called Teatro Municipal of Rio de Janeiro. That's the main company of Brazil. And there is a school which is attached to the theater, and this school is called Maria Oleneva State Dance School. So I studied that for 9 years, and they follow the Vaganova methodology.
Yes.
So it was very interesting.
The Russian school.
The Russian school, very strict. Yes, so we had at one point Jean-Yves Lormeau, which is a former principal of the opera ballet, and a Paris opera. So he was the director of the school at one point. So yes, I had the pleasure to study with well-renowned teachers. And yes, it was very disciplined, uniform, disciplined, to the point that if any teacher, the director passing the corridor, everyone has to stand up and do a courtesy or bow. And we had mark for discipline also. So yeah, it was a very good foundation. I learned a lot, and many of these discipline aspects I apply in my life until today, not only in dance, but in every aspect of my life, which is very helpful.
I think this is the basic discipline that all dancers have. The ballet is fundamental for the discipline.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just a shame that nowadays it's very rare to find dance schools, ballet schools that understand the need of this sort of discipline.
Yes.
To create a ballet dancer, a really good standard of ballet dancer, that you have to have a lot of things in the foundation.
Yes.
So yes. So I'm very grateful for the school that I've been to.
Are you still in contact with those people?
Yes, I do have my colleagues. Yeah, I am still in touch. Yes, they are all over the world.
So what was your first impression and your first impact as a child, and then when you grew up and you stayed in this academy? What was your difficulties in attending classes? Was there something difficult some days in the enchaînement, in the adage, in allegro, that you were a little bit worried, and you would say, oh, that is too difficult and I'm a little bit scared of it, but you were launching yourself?
Yes, exactly. It wasn't that easy. When we say, oh, it's beautiful, amazing time, but yes, ups and downs all the time. Many times I left the class in tears because of the pressure to perform, the pressure to look the standard they were looking for, the pressure that the exam is coming, and I wasn't still remember all the steps. So yes, the pressure of the competition as well, although we were friends, but as you know, there is the left side of competition that goes. And then when you feel that you're not fulfilling your expectations, there are frustrations. So yes, many times I was frustrated, upset, but give up was never crossed my mind. So yes, I would say I was flexible at the time. I had the ability, technical, physical ability. I was born a little bit flexible than others with more turnout. So adage always been very easy for me. Always been able to hold and manage very well, hold myself. Even my colleagues, my friends at the time, always used to praise that my legs were always high. But this is obviously, I worked very hard for it, but I had the facility, the physical facility. And I would say that I struggle a bit with the petit allegro. So that's why we need to always work with the dancers, young dancers, to always work both. You work flexibility, but also work stability. that will assist you in the jumps.
Yes, because Allegro makes work a lot also the brain, because you have to go to think much faster than the body.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, if you take the classes of Balanchine, you have only 1 second to figure out the whole Allegro before you do it.
Absolutely.
It depends
I know.
of the classes, it depends of the teachers also, what type of classes they do. But usually Allegro, they go very fast. But I prefer,
Yes.
I personally prefer, I don't know if you will agree with me, when you have students, either adult or children, or also teenagers, you know, when they are 15, 16, to make short allegro, but with clean work, with clean position, and no, do not go straight away into the very fast allegro. Just I
Yes.
prefer something clean, clean movements, clean position. And then
Yeah.
one of the you get used to the clean position, then you can go faster.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely.
But
Yes, you better get a good foundation, clean and polish before you can challenge yourself.
yeah. So once you have reached the 9 years of studies in this beautiful
Yeah.
ballet academy, so you made audition to go into ballet company?
No, I went during the ending of the course. Did a course in a summer holidays, a summer intensive, actually a summer intensive in São Paulo, which is in another state close to Rio.
Mm,
So I did 1 month of Ballet, which is a summer intensive run by the Cubans. It's Cuban school. So
mm,
all the Cuban teachers, they come to Brazil, they spend a month and it's full-time training. And I got a scholarship to study at Centro Pro Danza in
mm,
Havana, Cuba.
mm.
So I went to Havana, yes, so I went to Cuba.
So you
I lived
probably
there
worked with Alicia Alonso.
with Laura Alonso, her daughter. Yeah.
That is the
So
best, the best.
no, superb. Yes. So I had the pleasure to work with Laura Alonso, and also her son is called Ivan. Um, so yes, I spent 6 months studying at school, and at the same time, I had opportunity to perform with her company called Ballet Laura Alonso. So I was an apprentice. And so, yes, so it was a great time. Also, I learned a lot from the Cubans. The Cuban methodology also is very strong, very versatile, artistic impression. They are
Mm,
precise in the technique.
mm.
Yes, so I enjoy my time there. It was a great experience, not only being with the working in the ballet industry in Cuba, but also Cuba is a very interesting country. So
Yeah.
it was very enriching me in all aspects in my life, that period that I spent there.
So in Brazil, you were speaking every day in Brazilian.
Yes,
And then
Portuguese.
Portuguese.
In Brazil, we speak Portuguese, that's
Portuguese.
right, with the Brazilian accent.
So then when you traveled to Cuba, you were had to talk in Spanish.
Spanish, that's right. And I just learned being there. Yes, I didn't know anything. But as you know, it's the language is very similar. Spanish,
Yes.
Portuguese, and Italian comes from Latin. So
Yes.
it's easier for us to learn a
Yes.
second,
Yes.
third language.
We understand each other. Even if I speak to you in Italian, you will understand.
I will capito.
How did you feel in front of those two great schools? The Brazilian, which gave you the fundamental, and the Cuban, both of them. Was there a difference between one and the other, or did you feel a little bit alien because you found more strict, more discipline in one or in the other?
Yes, I would say the school in Brazil was more strict. Um, Although Vaganova, the Cuban school, the Cuban methodology was based on Vaganova.
Yes.
So there are a lot of similarities
Yes.
on both syllables in both methodologies. And my time in Cuba, it was good, not as strict as Brazil, but tough. It was
Ah.
tough
Mm.
because I was working with professionals, and yes, and the whole situation of Cuban as well. Everything affect the daily life. So
Mm.
that's why I always say that it's a very interesting country in many aspects, in many ways.
Yes.
So yes, it was a different experience,
Yes.
but similar at the same time. In
Thanks
the
to
studio, in the rehearsals, they were strict, they were pushing, they were hard. Um, yeah, very straight. They know what they want. They know, yeah. Which was similar to the way I studied back in Brazil.
so
Yeah.
the great similarity that connected the two was thanks to Vaganova methodology.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
When you talk about Vaganova in every place of the world, of the planet, it's nearly the same. It's always the same. I mean, it doesn't change. Vaganova is Vaganova.
Yeah. Yes.
Then, when you returned back to Brazil after Cuba,
Yes. When I returned back to Brazil after Cuba, unfortunately, my mom passed away in that period. It was very difficult. As you can imagine, I was living in Cuba and this happened and she was in Brazil. So it was a very difficult year of my return. Um, so eventually I said to my brother, which I was living with, I said, I need to go to this festival in Brasilia because I know they give scholarships to Europe and America. And I really wanted to go to Europe since little in my young studies. And my mom always told me, your place is Europe. You have to go to Europe. That's your place. You need to go there. Unfortunately, the art, the culture in Brazil is not validate
yes,
as much.
yes,
There is not much going on there, and it's very difficult, the situation there with culture and arts.
yes.
So my mom always had this in my mind, you have to go to Europe. So there was I by myself without my mom, she was my rock. And so I managed to go to this festival in Brasilia again, and 1 month classes every day and rehearsals, performances, and the competition. And at the end, I got a scholarship to London.
Wow.
So
Nice.
yeah. So it was a great sense of accomplishment because I put in my head,
Yes.
I'm gonna go to this festival and I'm gonna get a scholarship and I'll be out of here as soon as I can. And that's what happened.
You created
So
in mind, your own dreams, and the dreams became true.
Yes, absolutely. I was doing classes and rehearsals every day, twice per day. I remember I had a very good, very nice teacher back on the days that she had a studio in her home. And she used to say, come, let's do a class in the morning. And in the evening, we do a class and rehearsals. And she never charged me anything for 6 months, classes all day, every day. I'm very thankful to her that she helped me achieve my dream. Unfortunately, nowadays she's not here with us. Her name is Thais.
It's very rare
But I
teacher who doesn't charge you anything today. Yeah?
exactly. So she really believed in me. And so I know so that was it. I got a scholarship to London and I went to London in 1999. I was 19 years old. I went by myself. Again, I didn't speak any English. But in my bag, in my luggage, I had lots of dreams and courage to face a new chapter in my life.
Bravo, bravo. You really went in the unknown new life. So,
Yes,
did you join the Royal Ballet?
I was at London Studio Center,
Yeah,
and many of my teachers at the time, they were former royal dancers,
yeah.
especially Christopher Sander, which nowadays he's a rehearsal director of the Royal Ballet.
Mm.
So he was one of my teachers. So I spent 2 years in this school. And again, it was a great opportunity. That's when I learned the Royal Academy of Dance syllabus, the methodology, and it was very interesting because another contrast of my training
Of the
uh,
Vaganova, yes.
from the Vaganova, and then I had the Cuban, and now I'm having the Royal Academy of Dance.
Yeah.
But it was great. Yes, very enjoyable time. Yes, as you can imagine, as any other young student in Europe, you have the facility to get a part-time job and study at the same time, and that's how I survive.
Yes.
Working evenings, weekends at McDonald's, and going to school 5, 6 days a week. Which these sort of things very difficult in Brazil to work as a part-time.
Yeah.
We haven't got this flexibility.
Yeah.
And the money in Brazil to work a part-time job is not enough to survive. Whereas back on the days in London, as a young student, I could survive a few years like that.
Yes. So how many years did you stayed in UK?
I stayed there for 20 years.
Oh, that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot.
That's right.
So you you
Uh,
you dance a lot also in UK.
yes, I did. So one thing led to another. And obviously, I faced many challenges, many obstacles, a lot of rejections, auditions here and there. As we know, this part of a dancer's life. But never ever in my mind crossed give up or going back to Brazil.
Yeah.
So there was never an option for me. I just have to keep going, keep working hard, doing my classes, have a plan, auditions, and eventually things happened.
Yeah.
Things fall to place. The universe is
Yeah.
perfect. So in one way or another, sometime you will find a company, you will find a job, you will find a project for you, something that fits to you. So that's my advice to any young dancer who is starting your career.
Yeah.
Don't give up. You will find somewhere something that will fit you, that will be perfect for you, or you will be perfect for what they are looking for.
Yes. So you, if I may say, you have succeeded in everything. I think I have the feeling just because you have an angel from up there who is your mother, who is assisting you every single minute, because she knew that you really loved ballet, and she made everything to open all the doors to make you a new life in everything you have done successfully. So you see, this is very important also. It's thanks also to your hard work, but it is, I think, thanks also to your mother who is praying for you all the time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Getting a bit emotional. But thank you. That's a very nice, lovely, and kind words. Thank you.
It is very important. It is very important for every ballet dancer to remember to cherish their parents. Because in every ballet dancer, behind every ballet dancer in the family, who less who more there is a mother or there is a father or someone in the family who can encourage and help and push the person to succeed in their dreams. So your dream was ballet, as many young dancers today. So this is very important what you have said, because the young dancers who are watching and the people who are watching your interview today, they will take that as a very good example. Because if the people who are not dancers, but they have children who study ballet, they will understand what you say with the example of your mother, which is very
Yeah.
important, because not many families have the same parents, the same
Yeah.
quality of parents. There are in some families parents who say, no, you are not going to do that, which is a shame. So you were very lucky for this. So
Yes.
in England, you have been dancing with the Corps de Ballet ballet company.
Yes. Yes, I performed with Imagi Dance Company and No Tempo Dance Company, also Dora Frankel Dance, Secondhand Dance. I work with independent projects, Gary Clark, which is a very well-renowned choreographer in the UK. So yes, I had my time with ballet, which was amazing. Unfortunately, I had an injury in my back. And I was already on the third or fourth year as a professional dancer in the UK. And that injury took me out of dance for nearly a year. I was doing some recovering, physiotherapy, and all that. It was very painful. So I had to work. So I ended up working to pay the doctors.
Yes.
So yes, I had a break there during these
Did you
20 years.
have this injury while doing a pas de deux or jump?
I remember very clear, it was at the Grand Allegro. I was doing a Grand Jeté to my left side. And when I fell down to the floor, when I landed, I fell down because the pain was crucial in my lower back. I couldn't even walk after that.
Yeah.
It was just a torn, one of the big muscles,
Yeah.
and a lot of issues went and affect the whole lower back area. I couldn't walk, I was in tears. So yes, I remember that. And I would say nowadays, perhaps is because I force myself too much, I push myself too much, and I never compensate the hard work that I put on my body. So that's another tip for a young dancer. It's fine to push yourself, it's fine to work hard, but also look after your body. Have a rest, do the proper stretches, cool down, it's very important. Have one day to rest. Make sure you look after your body, a nice warm bath, a massage here and there, and so on. And I didn't do that. So I was just class rehearsals, pushing myself, and I forgot to compensate.
Yes.
So yes, so I had this injury. And as I was recovering myself, a good friend of mine at the time, his name is Everaldo Pereira, and he runs a dance company called No Tempo. He had a guest artist contract, and he offered me. But it's a contemporary dance company. And I did contemporary very basic. I knew very basic. I wasn't into contemporary dance. But he said to me, you have to come back to dance, because I was very upset and frustrated. But he gave me that push, and he said, look, I've got a contract for you, and I'm sure you will do fine. You've got the ballet as a base, which is a great thing. As we know, classical ballet is the foundation for any sort of dance. So I said, okay, eventually I agree. I said, I'm going to give it a go, get this as a challenge.
Yeah.
As we know, also shift from the classical ballet to contemporary dance. It's a big thing in our body.
Yes.
But I took the challenge, and I remember I was doing classes every day, very early in the morning at the place, which is a well-renowned dance school, contemporary dance school in London. The school calls London Contemporary Dance, London School of Contemporary Dance. And they have the place, which is a building next door where the Rambert, the Richard Alston company rehearsals, and they also run professional classes as a drop-in casual. And I was attending these professional classes in the morning before heading to the company class and rehearsals, because I thought to myself, I have to learn the technique, the foundation of contemporary dance.
Yes.
So it was very difficult for me the first year, as we can imagine, to release the upper body. It's a new language of movement, new way to move your body. But I love the challenge. I fell in love with contemporary dance as well. So I was taking classes at the place every day early, then going to the other studios for the class with the company and rehearsals and performing. Yes, it was very interesting. I learned a lot. I'm thankful to this colleague who gave me the push
Yes.
because I enjoy very much. So I did a lot of projects with contemporary dance after that.
When you started to learn contemporary and you have accepted this offer to work in contemporary, you were still in pain with your back or you were a little bit better?
I was better. I was
Yeah,
better.
better. Oh.
Yes,
And
yes.
what did you do to medicate your back to heal from your pain?
Well, I think because I was seeing a doctor at the time, I had physio, osteopath. I did a little bit of acupuncture as well. And through those treatments, I learned a lot how to take care of my body, my back, the right exercise. And, and also I gave them 9-month break, sort of break, just doing very light exercise.
Mm.
So from there, I think it was a good thing to do to give my body a break. And then eventually I got back slowly strengthening again.
Mm.
And then with the contemporary dance, which is a whole new way to move you, a lot of mobility in your
Yeah.
spine with
Yeah.
contemporary dance. I did Cunningham technique and Martha Graham technique. And it's a lot control in the spine, in the back.
Yes. Did you had any pain afterwards when you were learning Martha Graham and Cunningham technique?
No,
No.
no, no,
Mm.
no, just I would say until today, I never ever had that issue again.
Okay.
Obviously, once in a while, we always have a little discomfort here or that. That's normal, but I wouldn't say as a major injury or a major discomfort or pain.
Yeah.
Never ever again.
So this is important. And so you, after the 2 decades you stayed in UK, what made you decide to move to Australia?
Oh, okay.
Or if you have been in another place, I don't know.
Yes, yes, which is a very interesting thing to mention, and I will, and I'm sure you're gonna like to hear there. In 2014 and 2016, I went to Russia
Ah,
to work. I went to for work. Yes, I had the pleasure. I went to St. Petersburg twice, and the first time, I also had the pleasure to visit the Vaganova school and watch classes.
so you were in the
Uh,
heart of Vaganova.
yes, oh, it was an emotional moment for me to be in that building and be able to walk in the corridors because it's very difficult to get access. You can go to school. There is a little museum at the entrance. Everyone is allowed and welcome to go up till there, but nobody crossed the gate. And because I had the right contacts at the time, I went there to teach at the conference by the UNESCO, International Dance.
International Dance Council, the International
Yes,
Council, UNESCO, yes.
that's right. Yes. So I was invited to teach ballet and contemporary, and I took my dancers to perform as well, both times. And I remember the first time, the lady who runs the conference, the festival, she managed to get access to the Vaganova school, and she notified a few of the guests.
Was the lady,
and we were in a
was the lady Mrs. Aelita Kondratová?
That's right. Yes. Yes. That's right. I was trying to remember her name. Yes, she's lovely.
President.
So I had the
She's the
pleasure to
president.
meet her.
She's the president of CID UNESCO in St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg. Yes, that's correct. So I had the pleasure to meet her, and I went to her event twice in 2014, 2016. I had a great time. It was wonderful to meet other artists from all over the world. And it was beautiful. So if anyone is thinking about to attend her event, I highly recommend not only her event, because as we know, Russian at the moment, it's very difficult to access and all that. But the CID, UNESCO, they run these sort of events all over the world.
Yes. Yes.
But yes, I went to Russia, and Aelita, she managed to give me access to Vaganova school. So yes, we spent the whole day there. I watched a few classes and rehearsals. We walk all over the building. It's huge. Yeah, it was a beautiful moment. So yeah.
How did you feel when you first entered in the heart in this beautiful building of Vaganova, and you were with other ballet dancers in the studio, and your eyes were full of joy, your heart was full of light? How did you feel? What was your feeling when I mean, this is a moment where your mother must have been the most happy woman in the atmosphere, uh, you know,
Yeah.
because this is the most beautiful gift that not many people can have, to go to St.
Yes. Yes, that's right. When I walk in, I felt grateful. That was the first thing that filled my heart. I felt grateful to be in that building with so much history and so well renowned and respect in the ballet world. So that was my feeling, emotional, and I just wanted to absorb the moment as much as I could, be present in the moment, look into every corner. And yes, so I felt grateful and joy when I was there. And watching the class, I was very attentive to all the details. And at the same time, took me back on the days when I was a ballet student back in Rio de Janeiro. So a lot of nostalgic moments and joyful and grateful. Yeah. So that was one of my highlights during my time in Europe, definitely.
And then from Russia, you have been where?
And I've been to also for work Switzerland, in Geneva.
Yes.
I have a colleague there who runs a company called ADM Dialect. His name is Angelo Deo Iacono. So we run a project there for 2 weeks in Vevey, which is a small town close to Geneva.
Yes.
So I've been to Italy also. I run a summer retreat, summer dance retreat. We went to the Ischia. Do you know the island called Ischia?
Yeah, yes.
Ischia. Yes. Yes, it was great. Also, we had the pleasure to stay there for a week, running classes, ballet, contemporary, contact improvisation, body conditioning classes, choreography, yoga, and at the same time enjoy the beautiful weather and the beautiful country that's Italy. So yes, we had a nice time there. I also been to Greece, um, to Athens, to the same event by the CID UNESCO. I've been there twice. Yes,
So you
twice.
probably met Mr. Alkis Raftis, who is the president of CID
Yes,
UNESCO. They have,
yes, I met him.
they have
Yes.
a wonderful team, because I don't know if you have ever met Mrs. Adamantia, who is now the president, and she was the secretary before of CID UNESCO. And she's a wonderful person, and they have a wonderful team of CID.
Yes.
Do a lot for the dance.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's a great organization and very serious and very welcoming and friendly as well at the same time. So yes, I met them.
So you are a member
So
of CID,
yes, yeah.
like me.
Uh,
Like me.
so yes, I also, it was a great opportunity in Athens. And the first time that I went, I performed a duet, which is a choreography that I create in honor to my mother, because when I was away from home, she wrote me letters. And back in 2014, I had an urge to open these letters again. So from London, I went back to Brazil to retrieve a box of letters. I took back to the UK, and then I opened all those letters. It was about 20 letters with more than 70 pages or 80, something like that. Anyway, I had a nostalgic moment. It was very therapeutic, very difficult to go through there. However, I create something beautiful out of that. I created this choreography, this piece called Letters Cartas. Cartas means letters in Portuguese.
Yes.
So yes, with this duet, we went to Athens. I got funds and we managed to go to perform.
That is amazing what you're saying. I just wanted to explain to the audience who is watching you that the CID stands for, in French, for the Conseil International de la Danse, which in English is International Dance Council. And also they have their website that you can also join and visit, which is very interesting. But it's an international organization all around the world, which belongs to UNESCO. So just to return to you. So then you have been in Greece, and then you went to pick up the letters in Brazil, and then
Yes.
happened.
Yes, and then we performed this piece at the Lillian Bailey's studio, Sadler's Wells, which
Yes.
is a well-renowned theater. And also we did in Athens, the choreography. It was interesting because there was the time that we start to forgetting about handwriting letter and thinking everything is through email technology and all that. And I can say the letters that my mom wrote for me is like is a sort of legacy. And it's so beautiful to see her writing, the way she wrote the letters and the little designs and marks that she did to me and all that. It's something physical that I still have from her. And it's just a shame that nowadays the next generation won't get there because everything is via email, technology, text message.
Yes.
So to receive a letter, it's something very rare nowadays. We don't, act of writing a letter is nearly forgotten.
Yes, absolutely forgotten. It doesn't exist anymore. Doesn't exist. Even the wishes, you were sending a postcard before, and now the postcards have disappeared. You just
Yeah,
use the Facebook or the other platform to send wishes for Christmas, but it's not the same. It's not the same, you
it's
know.
true. No, it's not the same. So
It,
I've got this box full of letters from her, which I'm very fond and connect. And it's like a legacy, physical legacy that she left for me.
yeah,
So yes, that was the whole purpose of the project of my choreography, is to I'll bring awareness to the fact that how important it is to, if you love someone, if you care for someone, it doesn't cost you much to get a piece of paper and a pen to write a nice letter to express how you
yeah,
feel
yes. And
and to keep it.
what music did you use for this choreography?
Oh, I had an original piece composed by Michelle B,
Hmm.
my composer. So she created the piece especially for
For
my
you.
piece. Yeah.
Good, good.
Yeah.
So then you traveled to.
Then so yes, I worked a little bit also in Scotland, in Newcastle. It's another little town in the UK. Always doing small projects here and there until I think 2011, 2012. I started to get teaching jobs and to cover friend. That's when I felt a love in my heart about teaching. And I thought, oh, this feels good when after class, feels so rewarding. Perhaps this could be my next direction once I retire from performance, because I really enjoy this. And that's what happened. So in 2011, 2012, I started teaching more and performing less. And then eventually, when I became a mother, I thought to myself, I think for now, the performance is, that's okay to rest.
Yes.
Never say never, but for now, it's okay to rest. And I really focus in teaching. And I got my teaching training qualification. I taught for all ages and abilities. I even had the pleasure also to learn and to teach, learning how to teach and how to facilitate a class to special needs children and also young adults with disabilities. So
Hmm.
there was a very precious moment in my career that I had this opportunity to, because I was part of this program, teaching dance artists how
Mm.
to facilitate classes for them, for this audience. So that was a very rich time in my life.
And that
I
was in
enjoyed
England.
very much.
Was
In
that
England.
in England?
Yeah, it was in England. So
Mm.
in England, I taught to little kids up to professionals. Also, I had jobs that I was choreographing and teaching professionals. But young adults and professionals. I even had also another project that I did dance classes, sit in a chair. So I was going to residence care homes
Mm.
to work with over 60s.
Mm.
Also, there was a very nice moment in my career. I even got an award from the Tower Hamlet Council for my health educational work with dance, going to this residence care. So it was a lovely, beautiful project that I'm very fond about. But however, as I'm gone through this teaching experience for all age abilities and all that, I end up getting connect with the adult dancers, with the adult community. And so in 2015, I had my first child, my daughter, and at the same time, some dancers from my formal work where I was teaching for adult dancers, they called me and they said, why don't you start something? It's nice. We'll enjoy your classes, your lessons, your choreography. but I just had a baby. And I said, no, I can't do it now, but give me 6 months and I can think about it. So yes, in 6 months time, that's how Dance Alive was born, my institution that provides ballet and contemporary dance training for adults. So I started teaching classical ballet, contemporary dance, and I had 2 performance companies for adults, one for ballet, one for contemporary. And that's how Dance Alive was born. So I managed to take some dancers from Dance Alive from the UK. That's the group that went to Russia with me. They went to Italy. They went to Switzerland as well, always performing, taking workshops, classes.
And
so I had my,
you developed this then in Adelaide, in Australia?
No, that was still in the UK, the Dance Alive. So that's where I'm getting now. In 2016, I came to Australia for holidays with my family, with my daughter and husband. We fell in love with the country, and we thought, yes, I think it's time for us to have a change, go to another country, enjoy another culture, have a little bit more of outdoors lifestyle, because you don't get as much back in the UK. So when was 2018, end of 2018, we got our visa, our permanent visa, and then I had my second child, my little boy. I have 2 children, a girl, she's 8 years old now, and a boy who is 5. So in 2019, we grabbed our belongings, and there we came to another chapter in my life in Adelaide, Australia. And I love it. And with that, as soon as I arrived, I brought 7 dancers from the UK to perform at Fringe in Adelaide.
Wow, nice.
And Fringe, yes, you know that Fringe in Adelaide is the second largest Fringe in the world.
Yes.
Just behind Edinburgh in Scotland.
Nice, nice. Did you feel a difference of type of life between the UK and Australia?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And that's exactly what we were looking for. Life in the UK, as we know, it's fast-paced life. You can get everything there. You can find anything, any show, any art gallery. It's a lot going on, especially in London. That's where my life was based. It's a great place. I had a great time. But for a young family, it was a bit too much. And we want to slow down a bit. We want to breathe, be more in a calm environment. And that's what I found here in Adelaide. So in a way, it's good because we are more relaxed, more in contact with nature. It's more calm here, slow down our lifestyle. But obviously, I miss the facility that you have living in a big capital in Europe, that you can find a performance, an exhibition, a museum, anywhere, everywhere, any time of the day.
In Adelaide, those things do not exist. You have to create them.
That's right. And because I love to create, here I am.
That is a good opportunity for you in Adelaide. You see, in the performing art, you have to build up stone by stone every day until you will create something strong, because you have the potential, you have the quality, you have skills, you have everything. So everything is in your hand. You have full of ideas, and you can do it. You have just, I think, to find the right people at the right moment, that they understand your idea, to help you to create this. And I think you will succeed, because maybe in Adelaide it's not like Sydney or Melbourne. It's a little bit different. Maybe Sydney is a little bit like in UK, but in Adelaide is quite far from Sydney and those, this type of life. So
Yes,
you have to give this imprint of culture, of dance, of performing art, that maybe it's a minor, in a minor scale, but you have to do it to give that magic one, ding, in order that everything develops with a beautiful shape. And I think you have this magic to create good things.
thank you, thank you. It's going well, I must admit. I'm very grateful that in a short period of time,
Yes.
I have already achieved quite a lot here in Adelaide. Taking that I didn't know anyone here, and I launched my dance institution, Dance Alive. I have running here as well, and it's very successful. I've got the two companies.
How did you manage to launch yourself when you arrived in Adelaide? The next day you went there and you said, "Here I am teaching, I am doing this, I'm doing this," and everybody, how did they respond to you?
Yes, yes, I know. One thing that I must admit that I am very brave. I take risks. I'm not scared. So I thought to myself, yes, I'm moving to Adelaide and I'm gonna make it happen somehow.
Yes.
So as soon as I got here, I thought I'm gonna launch Dance Alive. I'm gonna keep going my dance institution for adults. And yes, I'm gonna do it. So it did happen in the middle of COVID. I had booked my first class for March 2020, and that's when everything blow out with COVID. So I had to postpone for July. And I remember that date, I've already had 6 dancers. But as you know, as you just mentioned, sometimes one person a connection here that can help you. And that's what happened with me. I had one person here, her name is Mel. She was my student in the UK as an adult student in the UK. And she's from Adelaide. And so when I arrived, she was spending holidays here. And she said to me, "Oh, Rejane, there is a nice adult ballet community here in Adelaide, and I will introduce you to them." So that's how I managed to start with few dancers, because she introduced me to them.
Yeah.
And I managed to launch Dance Alive with, I think I had 8 dancers at that time. And nowadays I have 75 dancers.
Good.
In the whole institution, attending classes with me.
Yes.
And other teachers.
Yes.
So yes, and in this short period of time, also I taught for the schools as a guest teacher. So I had the opportunity to teach for young adults, for children, but only as a guest artist, guest teacher. I don't plan to take other jobs. I will only do the Dance Alive and any other opportunity that comes along to that, which I have something very excited at the moment that I am creating with my business partner. I haven't mentioned yet public, so I'm gonna take this opportunity to do so if you allow me.
You are welcome, mostly welcome.
So I am setting up the only professional classical ballet company in South Australia. Because here, there isn't a professional ballet company. And the last company here, I think in 1960s, 1967 was the last company. The only professional established company here is the Australian Dance Theatre, but they are contemporary dance based.
Yes.
So there is no classical ballet in a professional level. So I met a wonderful lady, a wonderful artist called Sarah Humanick, and she also had this idea, and we just blend really well together. So we just applied for grant. We wrote for the South Australia government for funding. And so yes, fingers crossed we'll get this fund. We're gonna work hard And in September, October, we will have our first season. It's just only short for 5 weeks or so, but it's a good start. So I am pleased. I've got a great team behind. I've got lots of people supporting us.
Yes.
And hopefully you will hear from us from Adelaide City Ballet very soon.
Please, whatever you are doing, you can post it in Ballet International group of on Facebook, in order that everyone will know your future projects and success.
Oh, thank you.
You are mostly welcome to do that.
Oh, thank you very much.
So once you told me that maybe you will do something in UK this summer.
That's right. That's another project that I have in the pipeline.
Yes.
And I'm going to London in July, and I'm taking some local dancers from here, some Australians. Here is a very cosmopolitan city also. So I'll have 9 dancers so far coming with me to London. But this project in London is called London Adult Summer Dance Intensive. It will be a 5 days full-time classes for ballet and contemporary dance for adults or dancers over 18 years old. And I have a list of guest teachers, and it'll be very fun, very exciting. We will be dancing at Dance Works, a very well-renowned and established dance school in central London. So it's open for everyone above 18 years old. So
if you publish anything concerning this great event you will do in July, you also can upload it on Ballet International group, which would be very useful because, you know, in Ballet International there are many dancers, professional dancers, choreographers, teachers, and also organizers. So many people will read your post, and maybe some person could be interested to hear a little bit more about your success, about your works. You never know. You never know. So this is very important. You see, Facebook is very useful for this. It's just to let people know who you are, what you do, what are your projects, and this is very important, I think.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I will share in your group now about this project in London, and I invite everyone to attend. You'll be a special with a friendly, supportive dance community.
Good, very good. If I may ask, just as a matter of curiosity, when you say we will be traveling in a small group of dancers from Australia to UK, who is financing all this? Is it the Australian government, or is the dancer himself or herself that she pay her own ticket, the whole stay in UK? How does all this happen?
Yes, this project here is a culturally dance project to take I opened this opportunity for everyone in Adelaide, and so far I have 9 dancers who apply, and they are all funding themselves. And I do have another few dancers who are interested to go, but they haven't got the funds. However, I am creating a fundraising event to get the funds to support those dancers who can do it. So in this project, it's all self-funded. Good, good. So I see that you are well organized also in this side of finance. Yes, yeah. So now, as a teacher, let's say tomorrow you give a class.
It depends also the type of age, the type of quality of technique, the type of person that you have in front of you. What type of methodology do you use? More Vaganova or more Cecchetti, or you just mix a little bit the two together, or you make your own type of class? Can you describe that?
Yes, yes. It's very interesting because my foundation is with Vaganova. However, I spend a lot of time in the UK, and in the UK, they follow the Royal Academy of Dance. And my teacher training was with the Royal Academy of Dance. So when I go and teach, I feel more comfortable with with the Royal.
Yes.
But I do bring a lot of the Vaganova artistic impression and the discipline to the studio.
Yes. So this is the way that you mix a little bit, like in the kitchen, when you prepare a soup, you put all the ingredients together. I take a little spoon of Vaganova, a little spoon of Cecchetti, you put, and then you taste, you say, after all, it's not bad, it's good.
Yes, absolutely. And also everything that I learned in Cuba. Example, yesterday I was doing a Grand Allegro in class, and they were doing a chassé for entrelacé, and I mentioned that the Cuban dancers, they like to have their arms straight up there, looking to where you're going, to where you're jumping. And this is something I learned in the Cuban school. And I mentioned to the dancers, and I said, yes, that's what I learned in Cuba, and that's what I apply nowadays. Unless the teacher asks me, or unless the choreography asks to change the head direction of the arm direction. But if when I teach, I like to always implement that, because in looking above to where you're going to jump, it does help you to lift.
I agree because it's very important to follow the direction where you go with the hand, and with also because the hand, after the hand comes the shoulder and the rest of the body. So the hand is just the main how do you say, axis of the rest of the body in everything you do in ballet. So how you keep the head, it's everything. There's no need to talk about all those things, because otherwise we have to stay another hour explaining the technique to the people. So now, what are your future projects beside the one in July? Let's put it aside. But what are if you launch yourself in 5 years' time, in 6 years' time more, what are your future projects?
Yes, I do have another one that's very special at the moment, that I am creating an adult ballet program to coach dancers online. That's another project that I am working at the moment, and I hope to launch this program around May, June. So I really want to help women all over the world who fear attending a ballet class for many reasons. So I want to help them and teach them that they can learn everything to do with ballet and gain a positive mindset, flexibility, posture, confidence. So that's a very special program. I've been working with adult dancers for many years, and I came across with many clients who says to me that took them years to have courage to step in a studio. Lack of confidence, like self-esteem, lack of self-esteem, dance scars. When they were little doing ballet, the teacher was mean, or they told them they would never dance, you haven't got the right body, and this and that. So that's what I call dance scars. It's that those negative emotions that they have in themselves, they stop them to go into a ballet class. So I thought to myself,
unfortunately, happen. Unfortunately, this happens often, that
Yes,
teachers,
yes, and they stop dancing, and but they love ballet, and they end up going to other careers or their life, and now they have their careers, family, this and that. But the passion for ballet is still there in their hearts. They want to try, they want to fulfill their passion, but they are scared. And since COVID, the flexibility that we have and we learn to use technology in our favor became so accessible. Then I thought to myself, I think it's time for me to create this adult ballet program to reach people all over the world online with my program that I will give the right support for them to start. So in my program, they will have not only ballet class, but body conditioning, history of dance, terminology, musicality. So my clients will have a little bit of taste and a knowledge of all these little things that creates the beautiful art form that is ballet.
a
So
beautiful
that's a
project.
project. Yeah, I'm very excited.
I really hope that many people will follow you, because this is purely cultural,
Yeah,
and next to the academic ballet and the study of ballet. But there is a lot
yeah,
of culture, because people need to learn a little bit, just little things about history of ballet, history of music, who
yeah.
is Tchaikovsky, who is Prokofiev, who was Tamara Katsavina, you know,
Mhm.
have a very basic knowledge, but this is very important, because there are
Yes,
people who go to watch a performance, they see only the beauty of the performance, but they don't know anything about who is the composer, who is the choreographer, who are the first dancers. They don't know absolutely nothing. So this is
yes.
very important, as you say, and I agree with you, is that behind the technique, behind the performing arts, people should know and learn a little bit of the history of ballet and music. And I
Mm.
agree with you.
Yes,
So it's a beautiful
yes.
project that you are planning to do.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm very excited about creating a beautiful and a program with
Yeah.
the knowledge, in-depth knowledge
Yeah.
with the words of ballet.
Yes.
And so I also want to teach a little bit of anatomy for dancers,
Yes.
terminology, because when you attend a class as an adult, you
Uh,
only get 1 hour or 1 hour and a half in the studio, and that's it. You off and you come back the week after.
mm, mm,
And when you have this comprehensive program that you will learn the terminology, the
yes.
steps, what the exercise is good to do outside classes that will assist you to
Mm,
do this exercise. Body condition lessons also is very important, and so on. So it's a comprehensive program to build a good foundation in
mm,
the adult body. That's
mm,
another thing,
yeah.
because it's my approach is specific for the adult body.
Mm,
That's another difference. So when I teach adult dancers as well, I make sure that it's a syllabus appropriate for the adult body. We need to be
exactly.
aware of our conditions,
Because
of limitations.
I agree with you, because when we reach, in my opinion, when we reach 55 years old and we approach to the 60 years old, we are not talking about training, but we are talking about rehabilitation. Because rehabilitation is not only for people who had injuries. Rehabilitation is also focused for people who or have retired from ballet, or for ballet teachers, or for people who physically they don't have the same power and the strength as they were young. So I agree with you, because it's a different type of training, which is more based on stretching, on warm up, on relaxing and elongate the muscles. It's not like in ballet, because in ballet, it's when you are young and also when you're near the approach to the retirement until 40, you are full of strength. So your body is naturally ready to give that full strength during class, which is very stressful for the body. But for the adult, it's different. And this is what I agree with you, because I think that all your projects will have plenty of success.
Thank you. So answering your question, where do I see myself in 5 years' time?
Yes.
I see myself working with my professional dancer, a professional dance company. I see myself with lots of clients around the world, helping them to achieve their dreams. And I also see myself continue with my institution, Dance Alive, here in Adelaide, which is to support and provide training of classical ballet and contemporary dance for adults. So, and yes, and I'm very happy here in Adelaide. I found my happy place. But yes, I also want to travel and see my friends all over the world very often, as much as I can.
So now you as a mom, as a mother, you have a daughter and you have a son.
A son, yeah.
Are you going to act like your mother? Are you going to encourage your daughter and maybe your son to do ballet?
Well, I have done, yes, since little, since 6 months old, they come to watch my shows, the ones that I produce, direct, choreograph with Dance Alive. And whenever I have opportunity, I also take them to the theater to watch other companies. And they love ballet, contemporary dance, any sort of theater-based performing arts. So this is something that I am very strict, that we have to go to the theater, we have to be in contact with culture somehow. Yeah. That's one of my values, that because I know how much it can bring to your life, knowing and culture. My daughter, she wanted to do ballet when she was little. She did ballet for a little while. I taught her also at home. It didn't work very well teaching her at home. We tried, so it didn't happen. So I took her to a dance school. She had a nice time, but she asked me to have a break. Yeah. And I said, okay, I'm not gonna push. Yeah, I respect your wish. So yes, I am gonna support them in whatever they do. Yes, I'm gonna be like my mother, absolutely, in whatever they choose.
So your mother in heaven has a double task: to protect you and to protect your children as well.
That's right. That's right. So let's see what the future holds for them, if they want to follow the career in dance or not. But definitely we are in touch. I take them to dance, to ballet, and all that. They are in touch with that. But having a break at the moment, my daughter and my son, he says no. I ask him, do you want to do ballet? Do you want to dance? And he's got a beautiful foot, beautiful lines. And he says, no, I just want to watch ballet. Okay, he's only 5. Who knows?
You mustn't insist for that. He must choose what he wants to do.
Absolutely, yeah. I fully respect the decision.
So another little idea, because we are reaching the end of our interview.
Yeah.
Since you are so good in creating projects, what do you think if in Adelaide you would be able to create something similar to Prix de Lausanne or the competition of Varna? but in Adelaide, which does not exist.
No.
So
No,
that would be a wonderful idea, but it's very difficult to create.
absolutely. Yes, it's a whole new world to get into the industry about the competition with young dancers and all that. I never thought of that, but thanks for your suggestion. Something that I can think about it for the future.
Because
Definitely.
you would, I think you would have people, if you build up this project with great teachers, you know, international teachers, and you have for a few days the opera house, a big stage in which you can use and perform and do classes. And but I think you would have a great interest from many parts of the globe. I mean, from United States, from Canada, from Europe, from everywhere. So you just have to think about it, you know, and find the right people who can support you and help you to put on to put alive this project. Because you see, in Australia, maybe it exists something in Sydney, in Melbourne, but not in Adelaide. In Adelaide, many people think that is like the Kalahari Desert. I mean, they don't have no idea. They don't know about anything what concerns the culture.
Mm,
You see? So
yes,
I think that if you create something, that would be fine because it's a new it's a it's a new color for Australia also. You know, Australia will have a something more to add, and
yes.
you can do that.
Hmm.
I think you are a good person to do that. Just think
Oh,
it.
thank you. Thank you. I'll think about another great suggestion. Yes, thank you.
Now, Mrs. Rejane, sorry, my pronunciation is always terrible.
It's
Uh,
okay.
uh, what do you think about the situation in ballet today? Is ballet evolved? Yes, but also in some things has changed. It's not like before.
No,
The teach,
no.
the classes, the performance, the quality of performance, the choreographies. There is something new that will come, but we don't know. We are all scared about this new unknown things that ballet will have one day. Many people say that ballet will die, but I don't think it will, because maybe it will die, it will become more pale in some countries, but will start to reborn in other new countries. So, what, as an expert, as a ballet teacher, as a choreographer, what is your opinion? And you have been traveling so much everywhere. What do you think about the situation of ballet, about the dances, about everything?
Mm, yes. Well, what I see that is changing a lot is that ballet is becoming very aesthetic,
Hmm.
and the art of performance is becoming less and less and forgotten.
Hmm.
People are more interested in lines, in legs, in how
Yeah.
many pirouettes,
Yeah.
and this old circles performance.
Yes.
And they forget to also pay attention, give value, and connect with the emotion. So their artists now become so focused in the technique, in
Yes.
these legs and the turns and these and the aesthetic, and they forgot the ballet is an art form,
Hmm.
that they forgot to bring emotion to
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And with the social media also, ballet is becoming very banal, something competition with the girls and just interesting about themselves and very narcissism in a way, and that's very sad. It's forgetting that it's an art form.
Mm.
It's an emotion, it's an art form that needs to be evolved as well as the technique.
Yes.
And that's something that I feel that is missing, that is lacking, and then ballet is changing the aspect.
Yes.
Don't you agree?
I agree. I agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Just to add a little thing, as we were talking before, what you have said is like a little bit the email and the postcards.
Yes.
You see,
It's true.
the ballet today is more like an email, and it's not like the postcards.
That comes with an emotion attached.
Exactly. That you see the
Yeah.
calligraphy of the person who has been writing, and you
Yeah.
see the stamp of the post, and you see it's completely different. And ballet, unfortunately, is getting modernized in this way also. It's only with high legs, with how many pirouettes, how many turns, and the biggest jump, but there is no beautiful costumes, beautiful lights on stage, but everything is flashy. But as my teacher used to tell me once, they told me, Jean-Pierre, if one day you become choreographer, remember, the great value of a performance, you don't see it at the end. You see it during rehearsals. Because during rehearsals, you have no stage costumes, no makeup, no lighting. You have only the technique and the expression. And what is the choreography trying to say? Because each choreographer says a message to the audience. It's like Giselle. Giselle has a plot, has a story, but has emotions. And but choreographies today don't have that. They only have flashy technique with beautiful costume, but it's not the same.
No. Yes, it's
So
true.
this
I
is
agree.
why I'm trying to join what you have said, you see, and I agree with you. I totally agree. But I think that one day ballet situation will find a way to return to the old times. Because sometimes it is good to return a little bit backwards instead to go too much forward in the technique, in the ideas, because our ancestors of ballet, they were the best.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
The teachers you had, the teachers that all great dancers had in the past, they were the great artists with great experience, with great knowledge. I don't say that today teachers don't have the same, but there's something that have changed in the taste, in the beauty, in the essence of the performance, which is missing today.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. Dismiss the essence. That's the right description. Yeah.
It's like if, you know, if I give you a wooden statue, a little wooden statue, and I would melt gold on this statue, is not the same as if I give you only a gold statue without a wooden thing covered with gold. Because the gold has a different value from the wooden statue. And ballet today is like the wooden statue. It is covered by gold, but is not the pure gold.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, is there anything that comes from your heart that you would like to add in your interview?
Yes. To not let ballet die. If you love ballet, if you've got a connection with ballet somehow, keep supporting art. Go to the theater, support the artists, support ballet. If you love ballet, if you attend ballet class and you want to become a ballet dancer, keep on going, keep trying, never give up. You will find the right job for you. And never forget that ballet is an art form. So never forget why you do ballet, what drives you to do ballet. It's the passions, the urge that lies in your heart.
Yes.
And that's what the audience needs to see. You need to connect with the audience somehow through your passion, through your emotion, through your interpretation.
Yes.
So, and for everyone else, what I would say is to keep supporting ballet, keep supporting the art. We need support all over the world, especially in this so delicate and sensitive time that the whole world's living at the moment. It's very critical time post-COVID for everyone all over the world. So don't forget that art exists. Value the artists. We are there. We are workers as well. So don't forget to keep supporting the artists and the arts as a general, not just ballet, but I can say as a general.
And what is your wish to the dancers who are following you today?
Well, my wish to the dancers who are following me today. Yes, I hope to connect with you somehow, and I hope that you enjoy my posts. If you follow me on social media, I try to share as much as a knowledge that I have to everyone in all aspects, because I love what I do so much, and I believe I am on this planet to connect, to be a bridge to people. And I like to connect people's dreams with their dreams. And I am the facilitator. So I am using now the social media in my favor, where I can connect people and share my knowledge, share my passion for dance. And I'm using that. So if you follow me and you enjoy, thank you very much. If you've got any comments, any questions or concerns, just send me a private message. I'm here to help, to assist you.
What is your email address and your website address, if you can?
Yes, my email is info@dancealive.com.au, and the Dance Alive website is dancealive.com.au. And very soon, I'm going to be launching my adult ballet coaching program online, and the website's under construction, but you can contact me via this email that I've just shared, or I am on Facebook under my name, Rejane Garcia, and also in Instagram, I am Rejane Garcia.
Okay. And in case there are people who would like to join your classes in UK this July, how can they contact you? Through your email?
Yes, they can contact me through email or any channel of social media. And also the tickets are available via Try Booking website. It's trybooking.co.uk. And if you just type the name of the event, which is London Adult Summer Dance Intensive. But I'm here to help. Any question, any comments, feel free to contact me. I will reply to you straight away.
Good, good. So, Mrs. Rejane, we have reached the end of our interview. I hope you are not too tired, but
It's been a pleasure.
I really wish to thank you, to extend my sincere thanks to you for your great patience, for your collaboration, and also for the beautiful statement and outline that you have been given to everyone, but especially to me, because I have learned a lot of things that I didn't know. So,
Thank you.
so I really wish to thank you. And now you stay online. I will end up our interview explaining to the audience and make a conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen of Ballet International, I wish to thank you for watching this wonderful interview released by Mrs. Rejane Garcia. And I hope that her point of view will help you to have a different view of the art and the performing arts everywhere in the world. So thank you everyone for watching this interview. Thank you, Mrs. Rejane Garcia.
Thank you very much.
The honor to have you online.
It's my pleasure, Jean-Pierre, and keep going. You are doing a beautiful work with your group, with your interviews with Ballet International, and your career as well. You do a fantastic job and contribution to the ballet industry. Well done. And thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. So you stay online a little minute. Bye-bye, everyone.